A few years ago, I was standing in my kitchen at 6:30 in the morning, coffee in hand, and I realized something that startled me. The house was quiet, no TV, no phone ringing, no one needing anything from me. And yet my chest was tight. Even my body felt tight. I wasn't at peace. I wasn't in danger. Nothing bad was happening, but my mind was already racing. What was I worried about? What I needed to do, who I needed to call, and what I hadn't done yet. And I remember thinking, when did my life get so loud on the inside? At 71, I've learned something I wish I understood earlier. Peace doesn't disappear all at once. It's stolen, quietly, slowly, by small habits we don't even question. Welcome to the Garden Years, where we tend to life with care. And if you're a woman who believes it's never too late to live healthy and with joy, you're in the right place. Today we're talking about peace, real peace, the kind that lets you sleep soundly, wake up refreshed, and move through your day without the constant knot in your stomach. But first, let us understand what the word means, because I think we've lost the real meaning. The word peace comes from the Latin word pax, that's spelled P like in Paul, A like in apple, X like in X-ray, pax, which means not just the absence of war or conflict, but a state of wholeness, completeness, and harmony. It's related to the word pact, P like in Paul, A like in apple, C like in cat, T like in Tom. Pact, an agreement, a covenant with yourself and your life. In Hebrew, the word is shalom, which doesn't just mean hello or goodbye. Shalom is a word that is deep and layered. It means completeness, soundness, welfare, and safety. So when someone says shalom, they are desiring for your wholeness, your harmony, your safety in all aspects of your life. Peace isn't just about being quiet or calm, though those are beautiful things. Real peace is about being in harmony with yourself and others. It's when your actions match your values, when your days reflect what actually matters to you, when you're not at war with yourself, constantly doing things you know aren't good for you. Peace is integration. It's when all the parts of you, your body, your mind, your spirit, your time, your energy, are all working together instead of pulling you in different directions. That's the peace I'm talking about. Not just a calm moment here and there, but a life where you feel whole, where you're tending to what is truly yours, where you're not scattered or fragmented. And here's what I've learned. That kind of peace doesn't just happen. It's cultivated and cared for like a garden. You have to protect it from the things that want to steal it. So let me tell you about the thieves that were stealing my peace. But I want to share a wake-up call first. One Tuesday afternoon, I met my friend Linda for coffee. We've known each other for years. We've raised our children together, survived all the stages of life side by side. I was complaining, again, about how tired I was, how overwhelmed I was, how there was never enough time, how my mind was always racing. Linda just listened. Then she set down her coffee cup and asked me one simple question. Gloria, when was the last time you felt peaceful? Truly peaceful. I opened my mouth to answer, and nothing came out. I sat there searching my memory. When was the last time that I felt truly peaceful? Truly and deeply peaceful? I couldn't remember. And that terrified me. Linda leaned forward. She said, "You know what I think? I think your peace has been stolen. And I think you're the one leaving the door open for the thieves." I wanted to argue, but she kept going. "You know what steals your peace? All those things you keep doing that you know aren't serving you. Staying up late, seeing the news constantly running, the gossip, the broken promises to yourself, all of it." I felt tears welling up because she was right. I was doing all these things, every single one of them. And I've been doing them for so long, I didn't even notice them anymore. So what were those thieves? Not sleeping. You see, not sleeping steals the peace from your body. Staying up too late, flipping through my phone and watching one more show on Netflix feels harmless. But the next day, I'm irritable and foggy and overwhelmed and sleeping. When we're tired, everything feels harder than it needs to be. Another thief was the news. The news steals our mental peace. Too much news is not good for us. I'm not saying ignore the world, but when we're consuming hours of news every day, especially the kind designed to outrage us and keep us watching, we're filling our minds with problems we can't solve and conflicts we can't control. We end our day carrying the weight of the entire world's business on our shoulders. The third thief was gossiping. This also steals our mental peace. Oh, this is a sneaky one. It feels good in the moment, doesn't it? Sharing the latest drama about someone else. But afterwards, there's this residue of guilt, this knowing that we spent our precious time and energy on someone else's business instead of tending to our own garden. The fourth thief was not keeping commitments. That steals our integrity peace. Every time we say we'll do something and we don't follow through, even small things, we lose a little bit of trust with ourselves. The dentist appointment we keep rescheduling, the promise to call our sister, the commitment to walk every day. Each broken promise to ourselves whispers, "You can't count on you," and that steals our peace. The fifth thief was not getting places on time. That also steals our integrity peace. Always running late, always rushing, always apologizing. We're stealing our own peace before the day even begins. And we're stealing it from the people waiting for us too. That constant state of rushing, that's not living. That's just surviving. Breathless. Number 6 was tending to other people's business. That steals our boundary peace. How often do we spend our energy worrying about what our friends are doing, or trying to fix our adult children problems, or managing situations that aren't ours to manage? Meanwhile, our own garden is filled with weeds. Weeds don't ask permission. Whatever you water grows. Neglect is still a choice. Our own life needs tending, and we wonder why we feel depleted. I told myself I was busy, I was productive, engaged, but the truth of the matter was I was scattered, exhausted. I stayed up watching TV, then I dragged myself out of bed. I have the news running all day long. I'll gossip with friends. I'll commit to things and not follow through. I was always running late, and I spent more time worrying about my children's life choices than I did tending my own life. So I made a decision. I was going to stop letting these thieves steal my peace. Here's what I did, one door at a time. For sleep, I set a bedtime. Yes, at 71, I gave myself a bedtime. I stuck to it. I turned the TV off. I stopped scrolling through my phone. I went to bed with just a book, some deep breaths, and lights out. Within a week, everything felt more manageable. For the news, I limited it to 15 minutes a day, just enough to stay informed. The rest of the time, I chose what went into my mind: music, podcasts about things I enjoyed, even just sitting in silence. The gossip thief, every time I was tempted to talk about someone else's business, I asked myself, is this mine to tend to? Usually the answer was no, and I changed the subject. The commitments thief, if I said I'll walk, I walked. If I made an appointment, I kept it. Or I properly rescheduled it. I started trusting myself again. Timeliness, that was the one I was struggling with. Everywhere I went, I built in a buffer time. I left earlier than I needed to. I stopped rushing. And you know what? Arriving calm is so much better than arriving breathless and apologizing. And for the boundaries, I pulled my energy back from other people's gardens and put it into my own. I stopped trying to manage my adult children's lives. I stopped worrying about what my neighbors and friends were doing. I tended to my life, my choices, and my garden. And slowly, not overnight, but slowly, I found my peace again. Here's what I discovered. Peace isn't just the absence of chaos. Peace is what happens when you stop feeding the chaos. When I stopped doing the things that stole my peace, there was space for the things that gave me peace. Real conversations with people I love. Quiet moments with my coffee. A walk where I wasn't just rushing. A clear conscience because I kept my word. Energy for my own life because I'm not managing everyone else's. Peace isn't something you stumble upon. It's something you choose and then protect. And you protect it by recognizing the thieves and closing the door to them. At 71, I finally understood my peace is my responsibility. No one else is going to protect it for me, and I'm worth protecting. Remember that Tuesday afternoon coffee with Linda? A few weeks later, we met again. Same coffee shop, same table. And she asked me the question again. When was the last time you felt peaceful? This time I could answer. This morning, I said. Yesterday evening. Throughout my day. She smiled. She said, what changed? I stopped leaving the door open, I told her. I stopped feeding the chaos. Not because my life is perfect, but because I closed the doors on the thieves that were stealing my peace. You see, a garden doesn't fall apart overnight, and it doesn't heal overnight either. But every small choice matters. So here's my challenge for you this week, and it's simple. You may have thought of more ways that our peace is stolen. If so, please share. Otherwise, pick your peace stealer on one from this list, just one. Maybe it's the news. Limit yourself to a time that you watch the news. Maybe it's sleep. Set a bedtime and keep it. Maybe it's gossip. Bite your tongue and change the subject. Maybe it's being late. Leave earlier than you need to. Maybe it's broken commitments. Keep one promise to yourself this week. Maybe it's other people's business. Ask yourself, is this mine to tend to? And if not, let it go. Just 1 week, one peace stealer, See what happens. Notice how you feel. Notice how you sleep. Notice that space that opens up when you stop feeding what drains you. Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Garden Years. Remember, your peace is precious. It's worth protecting. And those thieves, they only get in if you leave the door open. This week, close one door and protect your peace. Until then, tend to yourself with care. Your garden, your life is waiting for you. If this is content that you're enjoying, please give it a thumbs up and please share it. See you next Tuesday. Bye.